right now. So welcome everyone from JiraCon to our session on Jira as a control center, integrations to apps inside and outside of the Atlassian ecosystem. The talk will be held by my colleague Stela, who's like a software developer at Decadis. We are an Atlassian solution and marketplace partner. And yeah, the talk will be held also by me, of course. I'm Martin and I'm a UI UX developer. So today, we will talk about integration. So what's on our agenda for today? We'll start out with basically basic integration. So what's provided by Atlassian out of the box? We will here refer to the so-called application links, or in short, AppLinks. We will have a view on a actually real-world example on how you can make use of the AppLinks, and then we will have a look at what we as an app vendor can build on top of it to make it like even more cool for you to use. So we will speak about the new release of the Jira Workflow Toolbox, one of our prominent apps, and then we will have a look at how they integrate in the Atlassian ecosystem services and how we can even make use of third-party services. Starting out with the basic integration. So what are AppLinks? Quoted from the Atlassian official documentation, it says like it's a bundled app that basically allows you to set up links and share information, provide information to certain resources across Atlassian products. So let's have a look at how you can make it work, how you can set it up. It's really pretty easy. So you head over to the product section where you have like your cogwheel in the right top hand corner. Then you check on products and then you pick the app links on the sidebar. There you see you have already configured stuff. And if you want to set up a new app link, you can just click this button on the right top hand corner where it says create link. It will open a modal dialog in which you can enter then the URL of, for example, a remote Confluence instance. And then just insert the URL here, press on continue. There will be some prompts coming up where you just have to confirm, okay, I would like to connect this one to this one. And then, the list will be updated. And what else you see inside there, there's like the collection of all your apps you have like integrated within your Jira as a control center, basically. So like the name, the version, and actually the direction of communication. So are you allowing like two ways, or is it just one-way connection? Is it connecting, or is it like maybe an error, which we don't hope for? And you can further set up more details on this action menu, like configuring more advanced stuff, like how's the connection or stuff working and kind of stuff. But for now, we want to get like really practical and like see what, if you set it up correctly, which is really fairly easy, how you can make use of it. So we would like to show you how you include shortcuts to Confluence pages within a Jira issue. And I will therefore, to show you this kind of scenario, hand over to my colleague Stella, who will explain you more.
Yeah, thank you, Martin. So I want to show to you a real-life example on how you can profit from connecting your Jira instance to another Confluence instance, which is external service. In this case, I will base my example on some scenario that we actually as a team face whenever we want to release a version of our app. Usually we create dedicated sprints for our releases, as in this example, and we have also a corresponding ticket which tracks the release process. Let's say that our release candidate is successfully tested, and now we want to start the process of preparing the release for the marketplace version. One of the things that we actually do is we document what our release tickets are. And actually, we go to the Confluence instance and we create a page there. The page title is the same as the release ticket summary. In this case, as an example, is the version 0.0.1. And what we do is we list our bugs. As in the example, there are two of issue type bug, and also the improvements and features which are of issue type story. As you can see, all the tickets are loaded as smart links, and this is due to the app linking of two instances. And after creating and publishing this page, now we get the information back to our ticket. by just linking the Confluence page under link Confluence page option. And as you can see, all the spaces are loaded directly. So we have the information from the external service, and we can search for our page now, which is the version 0.0.1 in this case. And yeah, we found it. So the information is coming from the external Confluence service, which is this instance, and a shortcut is displayed on the issue view, as you can see. So everything is done. The information is shared back and forth, the two instances, and this is the profit we get from the app linking. But as you saw, we still took some manual steps like creating the page, filling the page automatically with the ticket, and then setting the page link to the Jira ticket. How about automating everything and not doing those steps? Yes, now it is doable thanks to our execute remote action post function, and we can do it only on one transition. For giving you more information on what this post function does in general, I will hand over to Martin. Martin, it's your turn to show. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Stella, for giving over the talk to me again. So we looked at the marketplace and what are the solutions out there. There are like beautiful integrations for specific scenarios, like connect Telegram, connect Power BI, or even connect a big software suite like Salesforce. And yeah, we followed a different approach. We basically want to enable every of our customers to make a REST call on the transition of a ticket they want to. So basically any service you can think of make it possible. So that's why we created a new JWT post function, which is called create remote action. And I would like to introduce you to this new post function. And this is how we designed the UI. We split the UI kind of, so it comes with a convertible UI. On the one hand side, we have a wizard, which is a really simple to use solution, which comes with templates out of the box. So everything is kind of pre-configured for you as a customer to create a Confluence page or create a Jira project. It's really your problem is just 3 clicks away. On the other hand, we know that we have like really advanced JWT users, which we also want to satisfy. So we also developed the expert mode, which looks like maybe you already are a JWT customer, so you know how a post function looks like and typical. So there's a really advanced interface to do complex configurations, to get really into the technical stuff. And yeah, to even solve complex scenarios. But for now, heading back to the scenario Stella has presented to you guys, I would like to show you on how you can solve this scenario by making first use of the wizard. So let's head on over here. And yeah, let's go in the top right-hand corner on the settings. And let's head over to the issues. And then from the left-hand side, we pick like the workflows. We have prepared a JiraCon release workflow. So let's pick this one, click on edit here. I'm more trained to use the diagram view, so I prefer to switch this to this one here. There I have like the graphical overview. And there, let's look at the transition from in-test to prepare the release. Let's pick it and click on post functions. And then, yeah, let's add the post function. There we have the post function of JWT, and here we have the lovely new execute remote actions, where we basically can bypass internal limitations or do a REST call. And then we end up in our lovely new wizard, where basically, yeah, the problem is just 3 steps away. So let's start with it and how it works. So first of all, we have to select an action. So what do we want to do? Selecting connection, where do we want to do it? And then customize our action. So in our case, we want to create a Confluence page. So let's search for Confluence in our search. There it is. And then we want to do it in cloud also. So let's pick this use case here. We can further check, are we in the right part of the workflow? Yes, we can confirm this. And then let's pick the card and head on over to the next step and checking on the top hand header. And now we're on the next step. Now it's about for us to like select the connection. So there are already listed connections, but we can further create a new one. So let's create a new one. Let's say the name should be descriptive. We pick something like JiraCon connection, something like this, just for the sake of testing. We say it's an external, so we want to connect an external Confluence. We pick the base URL of this external cloud instance, and then we use the basic authentication with my email and the API token you can generate on id.atlassian.com. For now, we can create it here, but for now, we've already prepared something, so I close the modal dialog again. Can further use the search again to see here's like the Jira Confluence remote, and also use the quick filters in here. But for now, let's use the Jira Con remote and head on over to the last section of the wizard. Click on next. Okay, now we are in the last section of the wizard where we actually customize your actions. So we tend to prevent as much technical details from you guys as possible, but some things have to be filled in. So we need a page title for our new Confluence page. So let's set the value for the page title. Let's say it should be the same as the issue summary. And let's say the space key equals to like the project key. So let's look this one up. And by making use of our powerful expression editor. So project key equals space key, save on that. And then we do some magic here to fill in the content. You don't have to worry about this technical details here. Just fill them in, save. This is some powerful expression editor power here. And then we are also interested in storing our results. So information we get back from the call, was it successful? Therefore, we created a custom field, which is like the Jira Con release notes. And we just want to add the link there. And in theory, then we are just ready to go. So this is everything. The whole stuff is kind of automated, but we further have the opportunity to enter the export mode and convert the whole UI to get like really into the advanced configurations and make basically everything possible. And then therefore we'll hand over to Stela.
Yeah, switching to the expert mode actually allows you to act like an expert, same as the name of the mode that we are using. You can here create your own actions, your own connections. You can extend your already created actions as an expert. As any other JWT post function, it has its own sections which you can use to set up your configuration. I will go through all of them and explain them to you. And the first section is the basic configuration. Here you can put the core parts for setting up the connection with the external, the communication with the external service. In this case, what you need is an action, which is the actual job that the post function should do. And in this case, it's creating a release note page. And the connection is the communication bridge to the other service. And since Martin already showed to you how we can set up and create a connection, I will just wrap it up and say that based on the REST API terms, a connection is just the base URL of the external service plus the authentication if any is needed. The authentication, let's consider it as the key to open the door at the other end. And everything else left for making a REST call possible is part of the action. I will go further to the next section where you can see it is more visible for you what an action is composed of. And this section is called customize and test actually, because here you can customize your actions, part of the components of an action, and there will be also a test feature which will come with the second release of this post function. But now, what an action is composed of, we start with the method, the REST API method. In this case is a post. It can be a get, a put, a delete. And then comes the REST path, which is the extension of the base URL. The REST paths sometimes have path parameters and or query parameters. In this example, we don't have any, but I will show another example later on with a path parameter and the query parameter as well. And for methods like post and put, the REST call requires REST body. Like in this example, we call it JSON because it is of type JSON. So the connection or the relation between connections and actions is actually one-to-many. It means that one connection can be used by many actions. This is for helping you setting once the connection to an external service with all it needs for authenticating, etc. And you can use it for making lots of things in the other service. Like, for example, we have the connection to the external Confluence instance that we need for our scenario. And what we do is we create a Confluence page in this case. But we can also use this connection to edit a Confluence page or delete a Confluence page in the other service. I will show to you how we can create another action for editing a Confluence page. And what we need to do if we are inside the post function configuration, we go to the action picker and we select the option to create an action. A model is shown, same as in the connection creation. The name is required and it should be unique and descriptive. It will help us in the future distinguish between different actions. In this case, we call it edit Confluence page. We get all the data from the documentation for the REST API, and in this case, it is a put method needed for editing a page in the Confluence instance. We must provide a connection because an action without a connection is not executable. And in this case, we decided to use the same connection to the Confluence remote, which we select. And automatically with the connection is the base URL put into the text field. It means it depends on the connection. So it's part of the connection configuration. And now we can set up also the REST path. In this case, the REST path is directly copied from the documentation, and it has a path parameter wrapped in curly brackets. Under the table of parameters, we see all the parameters loaded. In this case, we have a path parameter named page ID. It is loaded there in the table of parameters. We can set its value by either getting it from any field in our transitioned issue, by selecting the first option, or we can set it manually using our expression editor. In this case, I will just consider I know the ID of the page in the remote instance. I will just copy and put it as a static value. We can anytime use the fields of the expression editor or any function of it. And yeah, we put it. Since it is a put method, then we need body data. So the REST call needs body data, which I also copy from the documentation as it is there. In this case, I want to change, for example, the title of the already created page, which was version 0.0.1. I want to change the body, sorry, not the title. And I put it like the content is edited from the post function, just for the sake of the example. And after having everything set it, I check the last time, and then we can create the action right directly inside the configuration of the post function. Everything is pre-selected afterwards. As you can see, the action is under the action picker, the connection as well. And now coming to the customization of the action. What we can change in here is the value of any parameter that comes with the action. We cannot change, I'm changing now, for example, the value, but we cannot change the name of the placeholder. This is because the placeholder is also part, as you can see, of the REST path, and the REST path is not edited. It's part of the action configuration. We can extend the action with another query parameter. Like in this example, I'm just randomly adding one and getting the value from any other field and just saving it. Another icon comes with the extended query parameters. We can add only query parameters in the configuration of the post function, and we can delete them. So we can delete already edited query parameters inside the configuration of the post function, which we cannot do with any parameter that comes with the action. Now I will delete it because it was only for the sake of demonstration. And then I will go back to the action of our scenario, which was creating a page, a Confluence page. And we'll continue further with the other sections of this post function, which is the set field component. It is still a very important section. It was also part of the wizard mode. And in here, in the wizard mode, we saw that we could set some field of the transitioned issue. In this case, we can select the field from the picker. And yeah, I will show you how the picker looks like of adding any field in your transitioned issue and setting its value by getting it from the REST response. So you can use your REST response and update any field of your transitioned issue. In this case, we are setting the release note page custom field where we want to save the URL of the created page, and we compose the URL by some base URL plus the ID of the already created page, and we get it from the connection.response field inside the parser, and we extend it with the ID of the page that is created. We can extend by any attribute that is inside the response, but if you are not familiar with that, you can anytime use the options that we provide for getting the whole body of the response or getting only the status of the response and saving it in some field that you want after the post function is executed. So for now, this is how we want to get the URL of the page. And then going further with two other sections of the post function, which are not specific for this post function only. You can find them in any JWT post function. It is the runners, which sets the author, and the conditional execution, which actually controls the execution of your post function with any conditional that you want to put there. As you can see, the post function in expert mode actually requires some knowledge about the REST API. But this shouldn't be a problem for you because our documentation will be nicely specified, and our support team is there for you to help accomplish any complex scenario you face in your daily work. Beside the post function in wizard and expert mode, together with the next upcoming release for JWT, we will provide also a central place where you can manage all the actions and connections in your instance. It will work as a single source of truth where you can run any CRUD operation like create, edit, copy, or delete on your actions and connections as well. And you can also track your connection usage if it is used in any other action in your instance.
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, I thought maybe it was my headset. Okay, and now I want to show to you how the post function is executed. Sorry for inconvenience. And let's see how our manual steps from the scenario are now automated. I'm in the same state as before. I check the instance, the Confluence instance. There is no page there. I deleted the one that I created before. Now I expect that after transition, the release notes page custom field is also empty, and I expect that after transitioning it to prepare release status, the page will be created and it will be linked under the custom field. So let's do it. Yep, I transitioned my ticket into the other state, and then after reloading the Confluence instance, then we can check if the page is created. Yep, the version 0.0.1 is created. We have the bugs and the features listed there. You can see only the issue key, but we can edit it afterwards as we want. Let's check the ticket now. And here we have also the updated custom field with the URL. Let's check if the URL points to the right page. It is the right page. So yeah, our post function made everything automated. We don't have to run any manual steps. It is done on one transition. But as you saw, this is a communication between two Atlassian products, Jira and Confluence. And how about third-party apps that do not belong to Atlassian ecosystem? For that, I will hand over to Martin. He will show you what you can do in those cases.
Yeah, thank you, Stella. So let's head on over to what about non-Atlassian services. So we also had a look at non-Atlassian services. We thought in the first release it would be cool to, as we are an Atlassian vendor, kind of to focus on the Atlassian services, but we thought it might also be cool to look at third-party services. So in the first release, we will support the Bira token and the basic authentication and basically every third-party service that enables you to, with these forms of authentications, to communicate to it. And in a future release, we will also, we are trying to plan also support for OAuth 2.0. And you might now wonder what services can I do just with Bureau token and basic authentication. And I can tell you there are quite a lot of services already working. So you can basically publish a blog post in WordPress by using the REST API, or extracting information out of Figma, or like even send some messages out to Telegram. And we thought it might be cool to do some kind of live demo to also show you some working software. So here's a QR code. You guys can get out your phones and open the camera app, and then scan this QR code and join the channel. You don't have to install the Telegram app. There's also a web UI available for you guys to join here. And then you will join a channel like this now. You should now see on my screen, it's not getting really sharp, but yeah, it's on my phone here. So, and I now will quickly switch over to my browser. So 1 second, please. Let's go on here and say.
I think your browser is not shown.
Yes, it takes some time.
Yes.
Now it should be shown. Now we see the new scenario we've seen before. So let me open the version. Stella has already shown to you, like version 001. And here we have the ticket. And now we want to transition the ticket and say like the release is completely prepared and ready for release. And yeah, now let's have a transition the ticket and have a look at my phone. And here's the message. There it is. So it's not in focus, but yeah, it's highlighting some information to you guys where you can find us, and hello xApps, hellox.app, and yeah, where you can find further information about our products, our company, our software products, and so on. And let me quickly go back. Now we should be back to PowerPoint. Yes, still see the QR code. Fine. Yes. And now we would like to complete the session with a Q&A. And if you have any questions, and I hope Barbara might have collected some questions for us, we would now be able to answer, or you can join our booth later and ask them there.
Yeah, or maybe Martin, can you show the last slide? Sorry, Barbara, for interrupting. Just to have it always there for the people that want to contact us. Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for the wonderful talk and the introduction of the new post function. There were actually like 2 or now 3 questions in the chat. I will give you the first one from Anurag Tiwari. He asked if what's the difference between the general view and the expert view? So basically, is the general view capable of making all the changes that you can do in the expert view? And if yes, what are the advantages of the expert view?
Would you like to take the question, or should I?
Actually, I want to just say that you are referring to expert mode and the wizard mode. So the general view is the wizard mode. It is the easy way of just making use of our templates, what we provide to you. So we provide some templates that you can use in any scenarios. It was like more general ones. Creating a page in another Confluence instance. There you could find also how to create a Jira issue in another Jira instance, external one, etc., etc. So we will always extend this bunch of templates, but for now it's like limited only. I don't know the exact number, Martin, maybe you can correct me and give me this information, but we have some templates working with Jira Cloud and Jira Server as well, so on-prem and cloud as well. It is limited for now, but in the expert mode, you can act like an expert. You can create your own actions. You can extend them. So you have free hand there. This is
and maybe to add on top of this, like, so the wizard is really for non-technical people to get, like, we will start up with a bunch of use cases, like maybe 10, and we would also be, me especially as a UX person, would be interested, what are your daily problems you're facing? So what templates would be really useful for you to, like, with 3 clicks solve the problems for you? We have, for example, updated Jira issue, or create a Confluence page, or create even a user. So if it's technically possible, we would like to ship more and more use cases everyone can easily use. And then the UI is kind of convertible. So you can like start configuring in the wizard and then switch to the expert mode at any time. And there you can really then go in the technical details and really customize stuff even more. You might not be able to go back at any time if you like really keep the customization hard, but like, yeah, with the expert mode, you can nearly deal with everything, and our support team is really there for you to help on this.
So in general, what we wanted to support were not only technical users or technical admins, but we wanted also to be there for non-technical ones. So this is the difference. So
I think we may have room for like one last short question. So I'll sum up two of the questions that are in the chat into one. One of the users asked about the integration with Telegram that you showed, and another mentioned integration with WordPress and Figma with OAuth 2.0 support. So basically the question is, right now with third-party or like external services, not Atlassian ones, which ones do we support right now, and which one when do you plan on, or is there a timeline for the inclusion of 2.0 authentication 2.0 support to include more external services?
So this was an expected question, actually. Yeah, we showed the example with Telegram. There we are using a basic authentication for the moment. With the first release of this post function, we will provide basic and a bearer authentication. And of course, it is a plan for the very near future. With the second release of this post function, we will definitely cover OAuth as well. And this will give you a free hand to set up extremely complex scenarios that we will solve your daily struggles, or connecting to third-party apps as you want. Because in general, also the AppLinks are mostly into OAuth support. So we will definitely provide this as well in the second release. Maybe Martin, you want to add more about Figma?
No, that's all I can say. Like many services you can also access with the API token and make them kind of work with some small workarounds maybe. But yeah, we see that there's a need for OAuth, and we see that, for example, services like Twitter work only with OAuth, to mention another messaging service. And yeah, but for now we are starting out with Atlassian services. There are many very useful use cases, and then we will extend the functionality when we can ensure a proper customer experience.
Perfect, thanks. So that was it with the questions from the chat. But I think if there are more questions, the people can come, and we'll see you at the booth today to get into the nitty-gritty details and tips and tricks, and maybe use cases with other services providing REST APIs that they would want to get templates for.
Yes.
We can't wait to
thank
check
you, everyone.
your scenarios. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.